Hello and welcome to A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. And this year, Hanukkah, the 8-day Jewish celebration of light, begins on December 24th, which is also Christmas Eve for Christians. Now, these two faiths' holy days often occur around the same time, and there are a few reasons for it, but mainly because these two faiths are linked through the Bible's narrative of redemption and salvation. And it begins in the Old Testament, which are the Hebrew Scriptures, through the New Testament, which is the Christian gospel. But does that mean Christians cannot or should not celebrate Hanukkah? Here to explain is Messianic Rabbi Jonathan Bernis, president of Jewish Voice Ministries International and author of A Rabbi Looks at the Supernatural, a revealing look at angels, demons, miracles, heaven, and hell. Rabbi Bernis joins me now from Phoenix. Welcome.
Lauren, great to be with you. Good morning.
Good morning. You've got a complicated sort of spiritual life because first you were a Messianic rabbi. And what does that mean? We don't hear that term too often, so tell us a little bit about your spiritual background.
No, I am a Jewish believer in Jesus. We call him by his Hebrew name, Yeshua. I came to faith in Jesus as my Messiah in college at age 20 and came to discover as I read the New Testament that this was not the book of another religion as I had been taught growing up, but in fact a book about Jewish people that took place in the land of Israel, people that had found their promised Messiah and remained Jewish. This was Christianity of the first century. It was not Christianity. It was a Jewish faith of Jewish believers in Jesus. And then I went back to my own Jewish scriptures, the Torah, the prophets, the writings, the Old Testament, and discovered prophecy after prophecy that revealed that Jesus, Yeshua, was in fact the Messiah, now, my Messiah.
First of all, do you have to be born Jewish to be a Messianic Jew? And if not, how do you become one?
Well, we define Messianic Jews by heritage, so either a mother or a father that's Jewish by blood. But we have many Gentiles who are part of the Messianic Jewish movement, in fact, a greater number of Gentiles than Jewish people, and they have adhered to our faith, which is the belief that the New Testament is Jewish, Christianity is Jewish, that the roots of Christianity are Jewish, and so they are Messianic Gentiles. But Messianic Jews are Jews by heritage.
We could talk about this for so long because, and I know this is very controversial with a lot of Jewish people because they really, really object to the idea that, you know, a Jewish person could actually celebrate some of the Christian holidays. But first of all, I want to talk about the link between Hanukkah and Christmas. And why do you think it is important to celebrate both?
Well, to begin with, without Hanukkah, there may never have been a Christmas. About 165 years before Jesus was born, the land that is today Israel was under the control of the Seleucid Empire, the Greco-Syrian Empire, under a brutal ruler named Antiochus Epiphanes, who desecrated the temple, sacrificed a pig in the holy place, erected a statue of Zeus, and forced the Jewish people by the edge of the sword to worship idols. Many were put to death, and through a miracle, a ragtag army of guerrilla fighters known as the Maccabees, they defeated one of the greatest empires in the world during that time, and that brought freedom to the Jewish people. Of course, they were later subjugated by Rome, but without the miracle of Hanukkah, there may never have been Christmas.
Interesting, though, because I think that it's very easy for Christians to celebrate Hanukkah because it's in their past and it's part of Jesus' heritage. But many religious Jews might argue that it is not okay to celebrate Christmas if you are Jewish, because that would then say, you would have to say that Jesus is actually the Messiah, which many Jewish people don't want to believe, which they don't believe. So what would you say to that?
I would say that's exactly right. That's the root of the whole issue. Is Jesus the promised Messiah for the Jewish people? Have the Gentiles, as it says in Isaiah, discovered the light that is in fact the Messiah promised to and through the Jewish people. I believe that Jesus came for the whole world, that Yeshua died, that whoever would believe in him would have everlasting life, but he was a Jew, and he came for the Jew, and the gospel is to the Jew first. But I would completely agree with you. The question is Jesus the promised Messiah? And for most Jewish people, he is not.
Now, you're a Messianic Jew, but one of the things that I thought was interesting is that you keep kosher, which is odd because Jesus declared all foods clean. So why do you keep kosher if you were a follower of Jesus?
Well, as a Jewish believer, my Jewish heritage is important to me. And my claim is that I was born a Jew, I'll die a Jew. And what could be more Jewish than finding my promised Messiah? The Jewish people of the first century never changed their religion. They never changed their lifestyle. And so this is part of my identity, my heritage. Now, I don't believe that it brings me any closer to the Lord. There's one name given under heaven by which we must be saved. That's a New Testament, a fundamental New Testament belief that I adhere to. But I am Jewish by heritage, and that's my identity.
I just got to ask you, how do you celebrate the holidays? Because, you know, with your family, that's got to be a very kind of an odd collection, because your mother still is very Jewish. She has not come to believe that Jesus is a Messiah.
No, but she's become a lot more sympathetic over the years. So we celebrate Hanukkah as a family, but we do so understanding that the Festival of Lights, which is also called the Festival of Dedication, was celebrated by Jesus himself. He was in the temple in the winter on the Feast of Dedication. He was observing Hanukkah. So we understand that he's the light of the world, and we celebrate Hanukkah in that context. He is the light of the world. When we light that Hanukkah, that Hanukkah menorah, with the Shamish candle, the servant candle, we also recount not only as Jesus, Yeshua, the light of the world, but he's commanded us to be a light and a servant. So the holidays go together very, very well.
Very interesting, Zephyr. I want to thank you very much. And your book is called A Rabbi Looks at the Supernatural, a revealing look at angels, demons, miracles, heaven, and hell. Rabbi Bernis, thanks for being on A Spirited Debate.
Great being with you, Lauren.
Thank you very much. And I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.